Hello student, I am SR Sirsat. Last time we have already considered the Ruby laser. Ruby laser is the first successful laser developed by Myman in 1916, and it is a solid state laser. Its operation point of view, 3-level pumping scheme is used, and for pumping point of view, optical pumping technique is used. All these are covered in last lecture. Today we are going to discuss about the next type of laser, helium neon laser. The first gas laser was the helium neon laser, invented by Ali Jawan and its co-worker in 1961 in USA at Bell Laboratories. It is widely used laser, and you remember that the first one, Ruby laser, is solid state laser, and this is the second one, helium neon laser, it's gaseous laser. You remember that solid state laser or gaseous laser or liquid laser, whatever it may be its type. But for each and every laser, 3 components are very important. The first one, laser medium. The first component, that is laser medium. Second component, pump source, and third component, optical resonator. For helium neon laser point of view, the first point we are going to discuss, that is the construction. Helium neon laser consists of, there is a quartz glass tube. Remember this. I am going to explain later on why the quartz glass tube is used. And this is actually the quartz glass tube. Length of that quartz glass tube is 50 to 80 centimeter. And diameter of that tube is nearly 1 centimeter. Means quartz glass tube is used. Length of that tube is 50 to 80 centimeter, and that quartz tube is narrow because its diameter is 1 centimeter. This is actually the quartz glass tube. Within that quartz glass tube, the mixture of helium and neon gas is filled. Means here is a helium and neon. Mixture of helium and neon gas is taken. You remember that what is actually this proportional? Means laser medium, helium and neon. Means laser medium is used, helium and neon. And for taking this ratio, the helium is 10% and neon is 1%. Means 10 part of helium and 1 part of the neon. Such mixture of gas is filled into the glass tube. Means within that glass tube, gas is filled, the mixture of the gas, helium and neon, and its proportional, that is 10 to 1. This helium gas pressure is 1 mm of mercury, and that of neon, it is the 0.1 mm of mercury. Means mixture of helium and neon is filled, and that is at low pressure. The pressure of the helium is 1 mm of mercury and the pressure of the neon is 0.1 mm of mercury. Out of these two, neon plays an important role. Neon atoms, they are active centers. Active center. And helium atoms, they support for the excitation of neon atoms. Means for laser action point of view, neon atoms are used. Remember this. This is about the laser medium. Means laser medium contains helium and neon. Its proportional is 10:1. They are maintained at low pressure, and out of these helium and neon atoms, they are active centers, means they play the role for laser action. Then next point, you remember this, means point second, the pump source. In helium neon laser, pump source is electric discharge or electric pumping is used. In case of ruby laser, optical pumping is used, but in case of helium neon laser, it is the electrical pumping is used. And for electrical pumping point of view, this glass tube provided with two electrodes, that is E1 and the another electrode E2, and these two electrodes are connected to the high voltage, and that high voltage in terms of thousands, means this is actually the 10 kV, this is actually the high voltage. Means pump source, it is the electrical pumping is used. Electrical pumping, and electrical pumping point is two electrodes E1 and E2, E1 as a anode and E2 as a cathode, and they are connected to the high voltage source. After that, the third component of the laser system, that is the optical cavity or resonating cavity, one and the same. Optical cavity consists of two mirrors, M1 and M2. These two mirrors at the ends of that glass tube. Out of that, the one mirror is fully reflected. And the another mirror, M2, is partially reflected. And these two mirrors as a whole form the third component, optical cavity or resonating cavity. This is coating of silver 100%. It is partially because for the emission of laser beam, here is the laser beam is emitted. Laser beam. This is actually the third part. This is all about the construction of helium neon laser. Means quartz glass tube, 2 electrodes, means electrical pumping, and these two are the optical sources. 3 components: laser medium, next one pump source, and third one optical cavity. The next point, what about the working of the laser medium? The next point, working. Working point of view, first point you remember that ruby laser uses or employs 3-level pumping scheme, but helium neon laser uses, that is the 4-level pumping scheme. Remember this first point, 4-level pumping scheme. This is the main difference between the ruby laser and helium neon laser. What is the first difference? Ruby laser uses optical pumping. Helium neon uses electrical pumping. Ruby laser employs 3-level pumping scheme and helium neon laser employs 4-level pumping scheme. Here is actually the mixture of the 2 gases, helium and neon. Helium and neon. Means when we consider for explanation point of view, suppose this is actually the ground state of helium, we call it as a F1. Next state, energy level. Here is a energy. F1, F2 and F3. These are actually the energy levels, that is of the helium. What about the energy levels of these? Here is neon. This energy level, it is denoted by E1. Here is a energy level, that is E6. Here is a energy level E4. Here is a energy level E5. Here is a energy level E3, and here is a energy level E2. These two are actually the energy levels of the helium and neon. Means these are actually the energy levels for neon, and these are actually the energy levels for the helium. Helium energy level, ground state energy level is F1, and these two are excited state, F2 and F3. F2 and F3 both are metastable state. You remember that. In case of neon, E1 is a ground state, but E2, E4 and E6, these are metastable state. Means E2, E4 and E6 metastable state. And here is E5 and E3, these are excited state. Remember this. These two are excited state, no doubt, but these are metastable state. E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, these are the excited state of neon atoms. And out of these E2, E4 and E6, these are metastable state. Here is the question. Why the helium and neon are used? The reason behind is that excited state of helium that is equal to the excited state of neon, means energy level F2 and energy level E4 are same for these two gases, as well as excited state F3 and excited state E6, these are same, and that's why helium and neon gas is used. This is the reason why we use helium and neon. This is the reason, because the excited state of the helium F2 and F3 and excited state of these neon E4 and E6, these are same, and that's why we use. This is actually the situation. We all are familiar with initially most of the atoms, they are present in the ground state. Here is a number of atoms are present in ground state, no doubt. Ground state. In a similar manner, here is the number of atoms are present in ground state, helium as well as neon. But how it works? This is actually the initial situation. These are the energy levels. These are the energy levels out of that which are metastable state for helium and which are metastable state for neon. When we here is actually the helium and neon gas atoms are present. Suppose these are actually the helium atoms. These are actually the helium atoms. And these are neon atoms. These are neon atoms. Means neon atom and these are actually the helium atoms. They are present into the glass tube. When we connect these two electrodes to the high voltage, what will happen? Due to the application of the high voltage, means here is positive is connected to here and negative is connected to here. What happens? Electrons are produced by this electrode. Electrons are produced by this electrode because this negative terminal applies a tremendous repulsive force that is on this electrode and it emits the electron. And that electron, when it is emitted, it is attracted by this positive electron. It means that electron flows from positive to negative electron. This is the situation. When the electron emitted, that possesses some energy, we call it as a kinetic energy, and when it is attracted by the another electron, that is say anode, at that time it accelerates and its energy increase. Energy increase. And when the energy increases of that electron collide with this helium atom. Electron produced by electrode E2. When the sufficient energy is acquired by that electron due to the acceleration, that electron collide with helium atoms. Collide with helium atoms. And that energy of that electron is transferred to the helium atoms. And that helium atom is present here. Due to this, what will happen? This helium atom that moves to F3 level or that can be moved to the F2 level. Means due to the exciting electron, collision between that exciting electron and helium atom takes place initially. The energy of that electron is transferred to the helium atom, and when the sufficient energy of that helium atom is absorbed, at that time it jumps from ground state to the excited state. It comes into these states, ground state to the excited state. This is the first mechanism. When these electrons are, means helium atoms comes in this level F2 and F3, some they are accumulated in F2 level, some are accumulated in F3 level. These are actually the excited atom of helium. But these are metastable state. These are metastable state. It means that they cannot be returned back to the ground. They cannot return back to the ground spontaneously because metastable state. Then next what will happen? These excited atoms of the helium, these excited atom heliums, they collide with neon atoms, they are in ground state. This is actually the neon atom, it is in ground state. These helium atoms in excited state or in metastable state, they collide with the neon atom in ground state. Due to this, what will happen? This excited atom transfer the energy to this neon atom, and the energies are same. Therefore, the atoms present here, they comes at this point, and the atoms present here come at this point. Means here is a resonance transfer of energy, resonating transfer of energy phenomena. Means these atoms collide with the ground state atom of neon. This transfer the energy to this, and due to this energy it jumps from this to this. And when this transfer the energy to this, it jumps from this to this. Means here is the situation. Means number of atoms are accumulating in energy level E6, number of atoms are accumulating in energy level E4. Number of atoms are accumulated. This is the process. Again you remember that. Means, and then these atoms, when the collision of this and this takes place, means atoms of helium in excited state and atoms of neon in ground state, collision between these two takes place, and due to this collision what will happen? These atoms are jumps into E4 and E6 level, and these atoms are come back to the ground state. These are come back to the ground state because energy is zero. Ground state means rest state. What about the next? Here is the next point, you remember that. Here is the number of atoms are accumulated here, number of atoms are accumulated here. Here is a population inversion occur. Population inversion occur. Means the next point you remember that number of atoms are accumulated here, number of atoms are accumulated here. Because these two are metastable state. These two are metastable state. And when this sufficient, means here is the population inversion occur. Population inversion occur. Where the population inversion is occur? Population inversion is occur between E6 and E5. Because these two energy, means population inversion occur between E6 and E5. This is the first. Population inversion occur between E6 and E3. E6 and E3. And population inversion occur between E4 and E3. E4 and E3. The reason behind is that when we consider these two levels, number of atoms in E6 is more as compared to E5. Population inversion occur between these two states. When we consider these two energy level, number of atoms in E4 is more as compared to E3. Population inversion is occur. And when we consider it is E6, E5, it is E4, E3 and E6, E3. E6, E3. Sorry, there is a population inversion occur between E6 and E5. Population inversion occur between E6 and E3. And population inversion occur between E4 and E3. Means 3 population inversion occur. Next, for this point of view, due to some random, suppose this atom, neon atom, jumps from E6 to E5. When neon atom jumps from E6 to E5, spontaneously it emits a radiation. It emits a radiation, and wavelength of that radiation, wavelength 3.39 micrometer. Wavelength of that radiation is 3.39 micrometer. But when the transition takes place, that is from E6 to E3, at that time it emits a radiation and its wavelength is 6328 angstrom minute, and it emits a photon. It emits a photon. It emits a light. But when the transition takes place from E4 to E3, it emits a radiation 1.15 micrometer. These are actually the three radiations. But this radiation 3.39 micrometer and this radiation 1.15 micrometer, these two radiations, they are in infrared region. Means E6 to E5, this radiation in infrared region. E4 to E3, this radiation is again infrared region, and this radiation is in visible region. Visible region, and that is generally red color. Red color means three radiations are there. Two are in infrared region, and this is the third one. This is in visible region, and its wavelength is 6328 angstrom minute. And here is the point. Why the quartz glass tube is used? The quartz material have the property that absorbs the minor radiations, and these two radiations are absorbed by these two quartz glass. Only one radiation is remain, and that is the 6328 angstrom minute, and that's why we get a red color. Here is why we use quartz glass. Quartz material having a property that absorbs the minor radiation, and these two minor radiations are absorbed by this quartz glass tube, and only one radiation is present. This is actually the laser beam. The next point, you remember that here is the photons are emitted, but you remember that energy level E3 is basically empty, and number of electrons are accumulated, or number of atoms are accumulated, that is of the neon, but they are fastly decay to E2, and when they are fastly decay, at that time this E3 to E2, there is a spontaneous emission, and during that spontaneous emission, photons are again emitted, but that is 6000 angstrom minute, and that corresponds to orange color. The next one, here is a E2 is again a metastable state. It means that number of electrons are accumulated here, or number of neon atoms are accumulated here, and if the number of atoms of neon are accumulated here and no atoms they are in, suppose, ground state, then how the process is continue? It is necessary to brought that atoms to the ground state. How will you brought that atoms to the ground state? And for that purpose, when the number of atoms they are accumulated here, the tube, the quartz glass tube, that made narrow, and these atoms collide with the walls of this glass tube. When these atoms are collide with these walls, at that time, during collision, they transfer the energy to the wall and they come back to the ground state. And that's why that tube is made narrow. And if the tube is narrow, the possibility of the collision with wall increases, and atoms come back to the ground state. This is actually the process. But when these photons are emitted, when this photon is emitted, and if suppose the emitted photon, photon is emitted, and if it is traveled in this direction and it is incident on the fully reflected mirror, what will happen? It is bounced back. It is bounced back. Initially one photon is emitted, and when that emitted photon is incident on the fully reflecting mirror, it is bounced back. And when it bounces back, at that time what will happen? It collide, it interact with another excited neon atoms and force them to emit the photon. Means again that force them, again emit the photon, means reflecting photon, and again another photon, two photons are emitted, and these photons are moving up to this mirror, again it is reflected back. These two photons again stimulate the another two photons, that is of E6 level, again the two photons. This reflection back and forth takes place hundreds of times, and when the sufficient number of photons are built and the intense beam of light is formed, that intense beam is passed through this, actually the mirror, passed through the mirror, and in this way we get, that is actually the laser light. Again you remember that actually laser light, when we consider the windows, there is a, remember that this is actually the situation. This is actually the situation. Means we call it as a Brister's window. Means they are shaped in this manner, that we call it as a Brister's window. What is the use of Brister's window? Before emerging the light through this window, means suppose we call it as a Brister's window, suppose this is the angle. When the laser light comes, that is unpolarized. Unpolarized. Unpolarized, its meaning is that parallel and perpendicular both type of vibrations are present. But when this light is passed through the Brister window, that it makes some angle, at that time that light is polarized. Light is polarized. If suppose what is the use of Brister's window? There is a Brister window shape is given, making some angle, and why this? That is to change the unpolarized light into polarized light. For that purpose it is used. Means this is about the construction, and this is all about the working point of view. Remember, these are actually the steps. The next point you remember that what are the advantages of the helium neon laser? But you remember that the first point you remember that it employs the 4-level pumping scheme, and its output is continuous as compared to the ruby laser. In case of ruby laser, 3-level pumping scheme is used. Output is not continuous, it is in the form of the pulses. Continuous means these electron jumps from this F2 to F3, they collide with this, and when they collide with this neon atoms in ground state, these are jumps from E4 to E6. Means energy transfer takes place from F2 to E4 and F3 to E6. And when the accumulation takes place, there is a transition takes place E6 to E5, E6 to E3 and E4 to E3. Out of that, these two transition in infrared region, and this is in visible region, and red light is produced. Again, this E3 level is fully empty, means that have a capacity to accommodate the most of the atoms. But this is actually the excited state, lifetime is very small, that's why random decay. And when there is random decay, at that time it emits a photon, and it's in the range of 6000 angstrom minute, and the color is orange. Means orange neon lamp. In case of orange neon lamps, there is a electric supply is applied in such a manner that the electron excited only up to this level. And when up to this level is considered, below this level we get a orange color. Students are confusing, here is a red color and here is orange color. But that is a spontaneous. As compared to this red color, this intensity is very less. And they are filtered and we get only one color light. Because laser is monochromatic, coherent, directional and highly intensive. Means by filter technique we can filter this color and we get only one color, that is a red color. What is actually the advantage point of view? Here is it emits the radiation in visible region. This is the first advantage, and visible region mostly red color. Second thing, high stability, low cost, and it is operated over a high temperature. But what about the disadvantages? Efficiency is low because this radiation and such type of radiations, they cannot be useful. Only this type of radiation is used. That's why the efficiency is low. Second one, laser gain is less. Laser gain is less means the intensity of light obtained with the help of this, that is gain is less as compared to the energy supplied. As compared to the energy supplied, the output of the laser beam is less because the electrical input is in the form of the thousands, 10 kV, and we get a laser beam. That's why laser gain is very less. Again, you remember that. The next point you remember, what are the applications? We all are familiar with lasers are used in printing. We are familiar with laser printer. Means here is a helium neon laser is used. Most widely used applications, helium neon lasers are used in barcode reading, in shop or in mall. Again you remember that helium neon lasers are used in industry. Means these are actually the applications. This is all about the helium neon laser. Today I am stop here. Next time we will see the applications of laser. Okay, thank you.